Hey everyone! Welcome back to Selena's English. Today, we're talking about something that can change the way you speak English forever: thinking in English. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation, trying to say something, but your brain is busy translating? You think of the sentence in your native language first, then try to convert it into English. And by the time you figure it out, the conversation has already moved on. I know how frustrating that can be. But here's the good news: you don't have to translate. You can train your brain to think directly in English, and today, I'll show you how. By the end of this episode, you'll have some practical techniques that will help you think faster and speak more naturally. Let's get started. Now, you might be wondering, why is this so important? Why can't I just keep translating in my head? Well, translating is slow. Languages have different structures, and if you try to match them word for word, it won't always make sense. For example, in English, we say, "I'm hungry," but in some languages, the structure might be closer to, "I have hunger." If you're always translating, you'll spend extra time rearranging words, and that slows you down. Also, translating can make your English sound unnatural. Native speakers don't speak by translating, English is just there in their minds. The more you practice thinking in English, the more automatic it becomes. So, how do you actually do this? Let's go step by step. The first step is simple: don't try to think in full sentences right away. That can feel overwhelming. Instead, just focus on words. For example, when you see an apple, just think apple. When you're feeling tired, just think tired. When you look outside and see the sky, think blue sky. No need to make long sentences, just name things around you in English. This is a great way to train your brain to recognize English words without translating. It might feel strange at first, but the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Once you're comfortable thinking in single words, try adding short phrases. If you're walking down the street, think, "The weather is nice today." If you're drinking coffee, think, "This coffee is so good." These are natural, simple sentences that you don't need to overthink. Just describe what you see, what you feel, or what you're doing in a short phrase. You can also do this in your head throughout the day. When you wake up, think, "I need to get up." When you're making breakfast, think, "I'm cooking eggs." The goal is to get used to forming English thoughts without hesitation. Now, let's take it a step further. Try to talk to yourself in English throughout the day. This means narrating your actions in your head, or even out loud if you're alone. For example, when you're getting dressed, think, "I'm putting on my shirt." When you're cooking, say, "I need to add some salt." When you're driving or taking the bus, think, "The traffic is bad today." At first, it might feel weird, but it's one of the fastest ways to train your brain to think directly in English. You're not just learning words, you're using them in context, just like a native speaker would. One mistake that many learners make is focusing too much on individual words. But native speakers don't think in single words, they think in phrases. For example, instead of learning the word excited, learn the phrase, "I'm so excited about this." Instead of just memorizing hungry, learn, "I'm starving." When you think in full phrases instead of just words, you don't have to build sentences from scratch every time you speak. It makes conversation much faster and more natural. Another trick is to stop relying on translation and start visualizing. Let's say I say the word dog. What comes to your mind? If you think of the word in your native language, that means you're still translating. But if you immediately picture a dog in your mind, congratulations. That means you're understanding English directly, without needing another language. This is what happens when native speakers hear words: they don't translate, they just understand. So next time you learn a new word, try to connect it to an image, a feeling, or an experience instead of translating it into your native language. One of the best ways to think in English naturally is to surround yourself with the language as much as possible. Listen to English podcasts, watch movies, read books, and change your phone settings to English. The more you expose yourself to English, the more your brain will get used to processing it without needing translation. At first, it might feel overwhelming, but even if you don't understand every word, that's okay. Your brain is still learning patterns, sounds, and structures. Over time, it will become easier. Finally, remember that this is a process. Thinking in English doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice, just like any other skill. Some days will be easy, and some days will be frustrating. But that's normal. The key is to be consistent. Try these techniques every day, even for just a few minutes. Over time, you'll notice that English becomes more natural, and translating in your head will start to disappear. Alright, let's do a quick recap. Start by thinking in single words. Move on to simple phrases about your surroundings. Narrate your actions throughout the day. Learn full phrases, not just words. Picture words instead of translating. Surround yourself with English. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. Now, let's take a moment to look at some key vocabulary. Hesitate, to stop or pause because you are unsure. Frustrating, making you feel annoyed because something is hard. Immersion, spending a lot of time with something to learn it better. Automatic, happening by itself without thinking. Surround, to be all around something. Thinking in English is one of the most powerful things you can do to improve fluency, and the more you practice, the easier it gets. So, which of these tips will you try first? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episode of Selena's English.